Hello and welcome to Balanced Existence. I am happy to be back with you for another Twin Flame Collective tarot reading and energy update. So today I'm going to do something a little bit different that I don't do often, but I am going to channel into your twin flame. If this is your first video, just know that this is not how I typically do readings. I have a very strong intention on this channel to speak to the Twin Flame Collective, but to focus the readings on self-empowerment and the inner work that we, the Twin Flame listeners of this channel, need to be working on. I don't want to focus on the twin flame because I feel like many times it's an egoic trap. It's a very slippery slope where you just want to skip to the part where you're in reunion and everything is good. And a lot of times readings in this space can serve as egoic traps where they're meant to be some kind of external validation that will soothe your ego and make you feel like reunion is coming, while it skips over the part that really matters, which is yourself and your union with the self and the degradation of your ego and those types of concepts, which I like to focus more on. But today, especially with the holidays approaching, I know that there can be a lot of turbulent energy, and I really want to tap into this just so that the Twin Flame Collective here listening can have some kind of peace of mind. Now, of course, like as I've been saying, the disclaimer is that you have to take the messages as they resonate, and also check out my other readings because that's really what is important, is what you're doing for yourself, your self-empowerment, your self-growth, your self-transformation, all of that inner work and getting in touch with your intuition so you can live an empowered and aligned life. That is the stuff that matters. But today is going to be a kind of one-off what's going on with your twin. So let us see, Spirit, what is it that the collective's twin is going through right now? Oh, wow. Okay. We have the Four of Swords and the Ten of Swords. So yeah, they're definitely needing some time to just reflect and rest, and they're feeling some pain. We also have the Five of Cups coming forward. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is especially, I'm getting chills. This is especially for the Twin Flame Collective that is in separation. So if you're listening, likely you're in separation with your twin. Maybe it's been a while, maybe it's been months, years. But with the Four of Swords, I'm getting chills again. It's, the swords is operating in the mental realm, right? Like your mind and your intellect, things like that. So they need a mental break. They've been living most of their life in constant stress and mental exertion, and they haven't given themselves a lot of time for true introspection. It's not to say that they're not a self-aware person, but they're not nearly as, like, their introspection doesn't go as deep or have that spiritual depth that yours so naturally does. And it's something that they have needed to practice, but they just haven't given themselves that opportunity, or they haven't committed to doing so because I'm hearing like their work life, especially maybe their family life, whatever obligations that they feel they have, it's been prioritized over their well-being. And so they have been called to rest and really contemplate. I'm getting chills again. They really need to contemplate what it is that they want out of life, because they're getting to this point with the Ten of Swords that they simply cannot sustain this. Like how they've been living, I'm hearing like it's not good for their health, and maybe they don't have any like literal physical health issues, but there's like a sense of their soul's health, like their spiritual health has just been neglected, and they know they want more, but they're not sure how to create that for themselves. They're not sure how to create the space for that mental reflection and sense of peace of mind. And with the Ten of Swords and the Five of Cups together, I'm feeling like it's like they've betrayed you, but they've also betrayed themselves. And this very much can be mirroring to you. So definitely when something resonates and you're thinking, oh yeah, that's my twin flame, they did that, like that was so bad, there's something mirroring there for you. So don't just see one side of the story. Make sure you really take the time to allow your intuition to show you what they're mirroring in you. Because if they are your twin flame, if they've betrayed you, they've betrayed themselves. If they've betrayed you, you've betrayed yourself, right? Like there's mirroring going always here. So again, take it as it resonates. But there's for sure mirroring going on. And so, yeah, I'm just feeling like they feel devastated with how the past has unfolded. And in our previous reading, the one right before this one, we had the Six of Swords, and we talked about moving away from choppy waters and moving away from seeing our past in a negative light. And I'm feeling like they haven't yet gotten there. And you may be at any point on that journey yourself. And so there's this sense where both of you have needed to stop seeing the past as this curse or this reality that you're a victim of, right? Like, but seeing it as, again, as we said in the previous previous reading, that seeing it as a catalyst for your growth. When something is painful and that feeling of betrayal, I'm getting chills. Oof. The flip side is that there is an opportunity for self-love and for healing. So what else can we channel here? I just feel like so many chills in my body. I feel like this is just this is a really heavy energy for them, for sure. But this is necessary, right? Like they have to kind of release, I'm getting chills again. They have to kind of release the old ways. They have to, and releasing them is not as easy as it seems, because it takes that time of rest and that time of mental contemplation so that you can then release it and move forward. And with the Ten of Swords, you know, there is a sense of surrender, right? Where, chills again. There's a sense of surrender because they're not just sitting and like festering and spiraling. Because it's the Ten of Swords, you know, that is the end of a cycle. There's an element of surrender. And with the sun rising in the horizon on this card, the implication, which your twin flame is at least subconsciously picking up on, that the future holds brighter things ahead. And also with the Five of Cups, there's this element of optimism moving forward, right? Or maybe not conscious optimism. They may still very much be in a pessimistic or pained, like a painful state of mind, state of being. But there's this at least subconscious knowing of the potential for moving forward. They know they're not going to be in this forever. Okay, let's move on from this. What's coming up next? Because yeah, that's painful, but that is on them to work through. And it is on you to determine how it's a mirror for you and what it is that you need to work through, because you may actually be resonating with this reading. I don't know why I say meeting instead of reading. Maybe this is like a meeting that we're all joining here together on. But you may be resonating with this reading And there may be something for you to heal from here. Or there's some kind of sense of resonance between both you and your twin flame where you're kind of going through similar things. Let me know in the comments if this is resonating or how you're perceiving this, because I would love to know. Again, when you comment, it really helps energetically for me to pick up on the collective, so I know who I should be channeling for. And then of course subscribe so that we can build this community, and when I channel into the collective, that is including you strongly. Okay, we have the High Priestess, and the Queen of Pentacles. Wow. And the Judgment. Okay, so definitely the Judgment is a powerful card of awakening. It's kind of like Judgment Day, right? They're looking back at their life, and it's that self-evaluation. They're taking responsibility for the past and their past mistakes, their past betrayals, their past actions, but they're moving forward with a sense of purpose and a commitment to making the changes needed. It's really this being on the verge of a new beginning, being prepared to shed those old patterns. Yeah, this person is really finding what it is that they are authentically living for. What is their purpose? What are the adjustments that they need to make? I am picking up on a sense of commitment, but everybody's timelines are different, and I'm getting chills. But a lot of the twin flames in this collective, they may have struggled for years with blockages on commitment, feeling that psychological avoidance. And the Judgment is that commitment to turning it around, but at the same time, that does take practice. It's a process, right? It's not this overnight transformation, but it is a true and deep awakening. And with the High Priestess and the Queen of Pentacles, I'm really picking up on this person healing their divine feminine. The High Priestess is all about the subconscious and the intuition and kind of hidden truths. So if this person has had repressed intuition or truths that they have not been able to admit or even consciously be aware of, they are uncovering that. And on the other end of that, we have the Queen of Pentacles. Because with the High Priestess, there's also a huge concept of duality, the balance of the light and dark, the balance of the masculine and the feminine, right? The acceptance of both sides. And as we've talked about with the union of self, the balance of the divine masculine, divine feminine, definitely allow your intuition to speak to you here about your inner divine masculine and your inner divine feminine. Have you neglected one over the years? Because just as your twin has, you may have as well. So if you have felt like you have constantly been in this state of doing and that kind of type A planning and accomplishment and feeling like you only have value if you are achieving big things, but you've not given yourself time to nurture your spirituality or your emotions, or just take that time to introspect and journal, then that's an example of somebody who has prioritized their inner divine masculine more than their inner divine feminine. On the other hand, if you have felt like you are good at resting and you're good at emotional awareness, but at the same time you feel like you don't have that motivation or drive to complete projects and have that drive and that sense of purpose, or maybe you feel like codependent or overly dependent on social validations, and you're not in a kind of empowered and self-sufficient energy. You may be, and these are just arbitrary examples, but you may be prioritizing your divine inner feminine and not your inner divine masculine. And you may be doing both of these things simultaneously. There's always parts of our inner divine feminine and parts of our inner divine masculine that at any given moment we can, better listen to and hold space for and nurture. So the high priestess I'm getting in the context of this reading, it's all about nurturing that inner divine feminine. And with the Queen of Pentacles, I feel like this is the highest divine feminine. Like this is her and her highest self. There is a rabbit on this card, so that is of significance perhaps for you in terms of the symbology. I want to read about that symbology actually. Oh, I should also mention with the Queen of Pentacles here, we're dealing with earth energy. I'm picking up on Taurus. It could also be Capricorn or Virgo. And the rabbit is a sign of fertility. So this is that really powerful and warm embodiment of the earth sign. Taurus is ruled by Venus. It's beauty, it's love. It's a garden full of fruits to harvest. Just being connected with the earthy reality, somebody who is practical and materialistic maybe. What I'm really picking up on is that your twin flame may literally be a Taurus. They want to have nice things, and not in a superficial way, but in a way where they want to express and experience comfort and love through these sensual ways of experiencing beauty and the earth. And they want to work hard and then enjoy the fruits of their labors. So I'm getting that this person has had this kind of karmic lesson to learn where they need to, embody their inner divine masculine in order to have their career or whatever project that's bringing in money for them. And they need to take action and they need to have that drive and have that purpose. But they also need to allow themselves to enjoy the beauty and harvest the fruits that they have worked so hard to create. And the Queen of Pentacles is somebody who is not necessarily seeking luxury in a materialistic way. They really are practical and down to earth and can really enjoy the simple things, the simple luxuries of life, right? Just simple, like good food and a warm bed and, comfortable clothes, things like that. But they're also somebody who's, because they're embodying that earthy kind of nurturing energy, they are somebody that can manage a home, manage their career, manage their finances, provide for their loved one in a grounded and generous way. And they really are a wise mentor to others, whether it's within a relationship or within their career. And so this is ultimately what the Queen of Pentacles is representing. And your twin flame, even if your twin flame is a divine masculine and you're a divine feminine, of course, like I always say, we're seeking to balance our internal masculine and feminine, but so it doesn't have to resonate with gender. But if they are seeking true balance and reunion, then they are going to be required to balance both their feminine and their masculine. So, yeah, there's this sense of maybe they have been neglecting their feminine, and that's kind of their goal embodiment at this time. Yeah, especially if your person has prioritized work and been in kind of this survival mode of kind of constant workaholism, then definitely it's their inner divine feminine that they have been neglecting. We're also getting the strength and the tower, wow, and the devil and the moon. Oh my gosh, these are like very significant major arcana that are coming out. And of course, at the bottom of the deck, we have the King of Pentacles. So there's that masculine counterpart. So with the strength and the tower and the devil, I feel like I kind of have to read all of these together, but it's basically moving forward, and every timeline will be different. But there are some, with the devil being kind of these temptations and bad habits, this person is committed to overcoming those, tearing down those foundations with the tower and building a new life. And they know they have the strength to do this. They know that this is in their future, but divine timing is going to allow this to unfold naturally. And that's what the moon is all about as well. You may be in a period of uncertainty. You may not know the exact answer of when this is going to happen, how this is going to happen. But the moon is there to embrace the uncertainty, because beautiful things exist and are created in the darkness, right? Like, we don't wish that the subconscious didn't exist. We don't wish that everything was out in the open. Like, the subconscious is what gives us that beautiful duality and the movement of energy. So when we go through this tower moment and we commit to ridding ourselves of, these past habits, we find that we are able to access our intuition and our subconscious. And we must do this in our own time, right? Like, this is not something that can be rushed. It's not something that can be forced. Really letting things and letting events take their natural course is going to be key here, and allowing your twin flame the space for them to do so as well. So if you're feeling that uncertainty or confusion or that egoic desire to know what's going on, or to have some sense of control by knowing what's going on, then release that, right? That is the devil that we're releasing here. Being free from the bondage of our own fear. Allow us to tap into more positive energies. Allow us to release the blockages and the inhibitions in our psyche, because when we do so, then we can expand in a healthier way, and we can really make that inner progress. And the devil also talks about things that have been pushed into the unconscious. It's our shadow side. So again, these blockages, when we commit with that Tower card to releasing them, then we are on track. And the thing is that to some extent, we all have some kind of, devil or subconscious embodiment of our shadow, right? And so therefore, to some extent, we're all going through some Tower moment, right, to release those. And in the same way, we all have the strength to do this, right? Like, this is a universal truth for all human beings. And if you're in this collective listening to this, you are not alone. You have the strength to move forward. You have the strength to surrender to your subconscious, to your intuition, as you allow your moon, your internal world, the space to exist, where you can have compassion for your shadow and you can bring it to the light. And through this, you achieve that balance of the inner Queen of Pentacles and the inner King of Pentacles, the inner divine feminine and the inner divine masculine. So wow, that's a really beautiful kind of outcome. I'm getting chills. So I really love how this reading has progressed, and I want to pull one oracle card here. Let me know if anything resonated in the comments, because I would love to know what is speaking to you. Okay, we have Soul Song, which is number 41, which in numerology is 5, so those could be significant numbers for you. Okay, Soul Song. Tune in to the soundtrack of life. I love this because I'm already picking up on this element of surrender, and I'm getting slight chills on this. It's like when we surrender to, I'm getting chills. When we surrender to our subconscious, not just our subconscious side, but the duality and the balance of our masculine and feminine, we really are able to live with so much more peace. It's like really being able to sit back and listen to your favorite song. And you don't have to worry about how, like, when the chorus is going to come in, or, you know, what's the volume need to be. It's like you just do what feels good. You just play it, you listen, and it's quite a beautiful experience filled with ease. Okay, this is what it says. Your soul emits a beautiful song. Think of it as a pulsating light moving in rhythm with the universe. Your song travels through light and is the background music of your life. Even if you can't hear your song with your physical ears, know it exists. We know animals hear sounds we can't. Your song is always resonating throughout the universe, along with the music of spheres and the sound the universe made when it was born. The greatest song of all, Om. You can tune into it through your heart and your throat. Be willing to live your life from your highest, most aligned, most loving perspective. The next song or piece of music that moves your inner world will help you to tune into your soul song. Or you can go out into nature. The music of nature will balance and detoxify. Align with the sounds of the earth, and you will find the steps to take next. And this is making me want to pull a card from the Tree Keeper's Oracle. So what does the collective need to hear? Keeper of Receiving. This is number 39, so in numerology that is a 3. The key to feeling grounded is to dig deep into your soul's soil to know your worth. Wow, that's really fitting because it just said to go out into nature. Let the blessings come to you by cultivating receptivity rather than solving, caregiving, rescuing, or fixing. This is definitely aligned with that sense of surrender we talked about before, and how through that surrender we're able to receive more. Forest life depends on reciprocity. The tree keepers held this tenet sacred. Receiving is a large part of that process. A tree doesn't seek out squirrels or birds to shelter. It doesn't uproot itself to follow every weary traveler offering shade, nor does it conjure sun or rain to grow itself. It simply is, allowing reciprocity to occur. Do the work to discover your inherent worthiness. Root down deep into it. This will give you the confidence to know what passes you is not for you. If the door doesn't open, it's not your door. What is for you will come to you simply by the power of your vibration. It is the rule of the forest and the rule of all sovereignty. Wow, I love that reading, especially for this particular reading where we were actually channeling into the twin, I feel like that is such a beautiful reminder, I'm getting chills, that you really don't need to work so hard to make certain things work, right? Like, again, just listen to the song of your soul, sit back and kind of enjoy your life, watch your life like a movie, right? And see how things unfold with gratitude and joy and just awe of the beauty of this human experience and all dualistic parts of it. I'm going to pull one more oracle because I feel like this deck here is going to be good. Okay, we have gentleness. Strength is gentle. True kindness has wings. Love in action endures. I think that's beautiful because we did pull the strength in this reading. And sometimes it can feel like when we say we have the strength to do something, it can feel like we have to force. But even the strength card itself in tarot is all about gentleness, really, right? Like when she is holding the lion's jaw, she's doing it in a way that is very gentle. It's not about like brute strength, right? It's this sense of, not just physical strength, but strength with the internal struggle, right? Like approaching that with an aura of gentleness is how we can really embody love and how love can endure. So I'm going to leave the reading here. Please like, comment, definitely join and subscribe if you're enjoying these readings. Let me know if there's anything you want me to channel into, or let me know if anything resonated. And thank you so much for listening, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.